What about those distant planets? When did we first go near those? Well, that is exactly what we are about to explore this time. This is Space Journey 101, and today we will look at the first satellites to reach outer planets. The Pioneer spacecraft missions are a series of 8 spacecraft missions managed by NASA's Ames Research Center's Pioneer Project Office.
In addition to collecting information on command from Earth, it could store this information and transmit it back to Earth on command.
Between 1965 and 1968, Pioneers 6 to 9 were launched into solar orbit. After their primary mission was completed years ago, the spacecraft were only occasionally tracked. Pioneer 6 is the oldest NASA spacecraft still in operation.
Pioneer will pass within 100,000 miles of Jupiter, increasing in velocity as it feels the pull of the planet's enormous gravity.
During the 1970s, Pioneer 10 and 11 blazed the path to the outer solar system.
It's not easy to break out of the solar system. It requires enough speed to defeat the sun's gravity as well as Earth's gravity.
When Pioneer 10 flew past Jupiter on the 3rd of December 1973, it became the first spacecraft to visit a planet beyond the asteroid belt. Pioneer 10 discovered that Jupiter's interior is hotter than previously thought, that its radiation belts are powerful enough to kill a human. Known for being the most distant object ever created by man for the majority of its mission, Pioneer 10 is now more than 8 billion miles away. Jupiter 11 flew past Jupiter a year later, then became the first spacecraft to study Saturn in 1979. The Pioneer 11 mission concluded on September 30th, 1995, with the last transmission from the spacecraft. The motion of the Earth has pushed it out of range of the spacecraft's antenna. The spacecraft cannot be turned around to face Earth. It is unknown whether the spacecraft is still sending out signals. There are no more Pioneer 11 tracks planned. The spacecraft is en route to the constellation of Aquila, or the Eagle, which is located northwest of the constellation Sagittarius. In about 4 million years, Pioneer 11 will pass close to one of the stars in the constellation. Voyager 1 and 2 conducted a grand tour of the outer planets during the 1970s and 80s. Voyager 1 flew past Jupiter and Saturn, discovering new moons and rings, compiling movies of the motions of the atmospheres of both planets, and conducting other observations. Voyager 2 took the same route, but was directed to fly past Uranus and Neptune. Its encounters gave scientists the first close-up views of both giant planets and their moons. No other spacecraft has ever passed by either planet. Both Voyagers are still operational today and have detected signs of the solar system's edge. The Galileo spacecraft was the first to enter orbit around one of the outer planets. In December 1995, it arrived at Jupiter. It launched a probe into Jupiter's turbulent atmosphere.
Then free fall for 50 million miles on what would have to be a precise and no second chance trajectory to reach Jupiter.
And then spent 7 years studying Jupiter and its moons. Its mission came to an end when it was deliberately crashed into Jupiter. Galileo's success was hampered by a malfunctioning radio antenna, which reduced the amount of data it could send to Earth to a trickle. Cassini was launched into orbit around Saturn in the summer of 2004 and has since sent back tens of thousands of images of the planets, its rings, and moons. A second part of the mission, the Huygens probe, parachuted to a soft landing on Titan on January the 14th, 2005. Its images depicted a liquid-carved landscape. Cassini's instruments have peered through Titan's atmospheric haze to find possible liquid pools and a volcano on the planet's surface. Cassini's mission also came to an end when it was deliberately crashed into Saturn